All right, welcome in. It's another edition of the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network. Joining me, as always, is my main man, Israel Troop. Israel, what's going on, bud?
What's up, brother? It's another day in good old South Georgia.
There you go. Can't beat it. Well, you can't beat it. It's another good day in Nashville, Tennessee, as well. We have a great show lined up for you. Before we get into that, we are presented by Betonline.ag, your number one source for all of your sports wagering needs. If you want to bet it, they have it. The NHL is just fired up. The NBA just kicked off last night. Obviously the World Series is set. If you had the Rangers versus Diamondbacks on your card, congratulations. I sure as heck did not. But that's what it is. College football and NFL are also in full swing. College football is heating up. You could probably bet on the penalty for that Michigan's probably going to get.
Not good.
We can dive into that a little bit too here, because the world's largest outdoor cocktail party probably isn't the most exciting game. But don't tell our audience that, because that's probably turning it off right now. But anyway, Betonline.ag has online casino as well. So if you like blackjack, poker, or whatever other casino games that you like to play, Betonline.ag has it for you. So head to the website, betonline.ag, or you can use your mobile device to sign up and join. Get your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV to get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Betonline.ag, it's where the game starts. So I was thinking about this, and let's just jump straight into it, okay? Been living under a rock. Michigan is in some hot water. They sent one of their staffers, allegedly, to go and scout a bunch of games and steal signals and film sidelines and do all this other stuff. Now, stealing signs during the run of a game is just gamesmanship, right?
Yes.
Well, Michigan has taken it to a whole nother level.
They kept the paperwork. From what I'm hearing, they kept pictures and paperwork and laminated sheets and everything, which is definitely frowned upon, especially in our line of work.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna steal signs during a game, great. It's your fault if you get your signs stolen because you didn't conceal them well enough. But to have somebody at the games filming, to me, I just think it completely wrecks the integrity of college football, and it just kind of makes you feel like, okay, well, no wonder Michigan started winning all of a sudden. It's hard to fool them. I wonder why. Oh, they were well prepared. I wonder why now. It all makes sense. And to say that Jim Harbaugh doesn't know, do you think, even at the high school level, do you think your head coach, Coach Strickland, do you think you could go do something and him not know about it?
Absolutely not.
He knows. He knew. And likely sought out that information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's video evidence that leads me to believe that, they prepared, because the whole sideline's doing things in unison. He's communicating with Harbaugh. He has a binder on the sideline with likely pictures and things and visual aids of all the signs. And his number one job is to look at the sideline, get the signals, and relay them. And so the defense, all they had to do is see the sign, and they knew exactly what to do. You practice that stuff. If you practice stuff, you could be prepared. But the art of stealing signs, if you can steal a sign during a game and actually be able to do something with it, kudos to you, because that's a very difficult thing to do in football, because you have to steal a sign, decipher it, and then call the right defense. And the way offenses move now, it's way too fast.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's pure gamesmanship. If you look over it, you see a signal that they've been given throughout the game. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, you still got to stop it. I heard Deion say it the other day. I think Kirby alluded to it too. I mean, no matter if you try to steal a sign or not, I mean, you still have to go out there and do your job and execute. So, I mean, throughout the course of a game, it does happen, but it's not as severe as this situation is. I mean, from all reports, I mean, I think they got like I said, laminated sheets, and you start seeing the whole defensive, assistants and stuff start doing things, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of a red flag, even if you can try to deny it. That's a little bit out there. That's a little bit blatantly obvious that you obviously know something. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to win that bad to where my integrity and my character comes into question. I think right now that's what Michigan's going through. I think that's what Harbaugh is going through right now. He had that situation at the beginning of the year where he was suspended like the first 3 or 4 games, and now this comes out. So, and it's not like that homeboy's being real quiet about it either. I mean, he's got receipts. He's got proof of, hey, this is what I did. This is what they paid me to do it, and things like that. So Michigan's going to be in some trouble for a little while. But I will say this, though, regardless of how that happened, I do think that Michigan has started to, make a turn for the better. They're starting to get kids in, they're playing hard and things like that. So I don't want to take away from that. But the way you're going about it is just not ethical. And
it's hard not to take away from that. It's very difficult. Like they're playing well, but why? It's like, I mean, I applaud the kids. I mean, the kids go out there and make plays, and the kids are doing what they're doing their jobs, which, I mean, this is not directed at the players, but.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about the players. I mean, you're doing what you're coached to do. You're doing exactly what that sign or those signals tell you to do. So the players are playing, to a standard that I guess that Michigan wants them to play at, even with the whole cheating scandal. But not taking away from their talent by any means. But I think at the end of the day, it's not good for Michigan. If all this comes back to be true, and
this is terrible.
I don't know what do you do to them? What does the NCAA do? I mean,
NCAA does nothing because they're the NCAA and they're toothless. But it goes back to the whole Patriots thing. Like why? Like why? What do you gain from that? Like you're so much, like they're so much more talented than 90% of their schedule. They don't need to. That's the thing that frustrates me too, that they didn't need to do this. This was unnecessary.
They didn't need to. And I mean, like you said, why? Like at what point all right, maybe one game you're like, we're playing Ohio State. All right, we need this one.
Like the first one you had on them, like save Harbaugh's job.
Yeah, like still not right, but hey, we got to have this one, but that should have been the last one. You know what I mean? Like you can't
scouting Iowa.
You know what I mean?
Why are you scouting Iowa?
So I don't understand.
Why are you scouting Northwestern?
As a coach, we've all, looked over at the sidelines to see, hey, they're running this to the left. I think I hadn't quite figured it out yet. You know what I mean? So those things like that happen throughout a football game, but not to the extent of you got pictures. I mean, you got a whole scrapbook of things that you've seen. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit out there. When I saw it, I was like, this can't be real. Then I saw the guy that was actually doing it saying, shoot, man, I got all the receipts. I got Venmos and everything. He's bragging to people that's his job. So it's not a good look.
Not a good look at all. And Michigan, I guess, thought that he would fall on the sword and they could. And Jim Harbaugh didn't think, hey, I'm the head coach. I'm responsible for all this. This staffer can just fall on the sword for me and everything will be okay. Not true. I don't know what's going to happen to Harbaugh. I don't know that Michigan fires him, but like maybe he jumps to the NFL after this. I don't know, but this is all very, 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 very bad.
Yeah, the state of Michigan football right now is not in a really good place. As far as their two predominantly big D1 programs at this particular moment.
Yeah, you're throwing Adolf Hitler on the screen at Michigan State. What is that? And you're going to say, "Oh, it's a third-party thing. We've just we just hit a YouTube video." Like you didn't screen that before.
Yeah. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and that's probably the last thing that you should even remotely even put on a big screen for everyone to see.
I mean, Israel, we've all, like, you're a teacher, I'm a teacher. We've all had our slip ups. Like, you play a video on the board and like something pops up. You're like, oh, didn't realize that was there. But like,
Yeah.
come on.
Like you play a movie or something, and they start kissing and stuff like that. You're like, oh, did not know that scene was in there, or things like that. But it's not as throwing a dagger in somebody like while they're at a football game that you're already getting beat up.
Throwing a dagger into an entire religion is not the way to go, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah, like you should literally screen these. Like at Georgia, for instance, before they play any song on through the loudspeaker or anything like that, it goes through like a testing process. Everybody, hey, this is what we're going to play. This is how it goes. This is what it looks like. Everybody good. All right, great. Like nobody proofread this whole deal.
You have a team. You have a team of people.
That just let this happen.
What are you? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Michigan, bless your heart.
Yeah,
the state of Michigan now is in turmoil.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Got a lot going on over there.
It's bad up there. Eastern Michigan's like, oh boy.
Keep that away from us, guys.
Yeah. Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. They're like, nah, bro, we good over here, man. We good.
Yeah. Western Michigan, they're like,
what is going on over there? Y'all good, bro?
The directional schools are like, thank God, the pressure's off us.
Hey guys, you hadn't won a game in a couple of years now. I know that, but have you seen what's going on over here?
Yeah. See, Michigan State, they had a trainer that's facing like 1,000 felony charges of statutory and all kind, like every rape charge you can get. They put Adolf Hitler on their screen, and Mel Tucker's going through a big sex scandal, and the other school is cheating. We're good.
Yeah, I think wins and losses are not real important at this particular moment.
And the ADs are like, yeah, you got a point.
I think we're good. We're good.
Yeah, you got a point. Okay, all right. Carry on. I'm not going to fire you. Could be worse. Could be way worse.
Yeah.
And how Michigan State's AD has not gotten fired, I don't, just beyond me. Like, what is good? Like, it's a train wreck after train wreck after train wreck after train wreck. Like it's bad.
Make sure to appreciate our AD, my man Josh Brooks, and we appreciate you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these guys are struggling right now. I think you need to do a class of how to be an athletic director.
Yeah.
Presented by Josh Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good ADs in the SEC.
Absolutely. A lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones in the SEC. A lot of good, like LSU's AD. I don't know what his name is. I think it's Ross Bjork, right? I think maybe. I don't know. I might be wrong on that. There's a lot of good ADs. I mean, LSU's got a lot of good programs. Their women's basketball program is top notch. Their baseball program is always good. Football's always good. Alabama obviously has a really good AD. Josh Brooks is, second to none. Tennessee's got a pretty good athletic department. Most of them run pretty well budget wise. I mean, you don't hear of a lot of these scandals elsewhere.
No, especially
Big Ten, holy cow, dude. Like, you had the Iowa stuff that happened. You had the DJ Durkin stuff that happened. Northwestern, Penn State years ago. It's getting bad up there in Big Ten country. Just saying. Well, speaking of getting bad in Big Ten country, this has nothing to do with that. But the world's largest outdoor cocktail party is this week. Who would have guessed? It's my favorite week because every fiber in my being, I hate Florida. I don't know. Well, this is a family thing for you though. Like your relatives are all.
It is a house divided right now.
Yeah.
Well, this week anyways.
Do you and Ben talk a lot this week?
Yeah, we do. I was about to mess with him tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because I usually mess with him about Thursday. Like when we're pretty much done with football for the week. I usually mess with him on Thursday and send him something funny most of the time.
Yeah. Send him a lot of stuff that's funny. Like this game, man, like you watch Florida play and they truly are an enigma. They really are an enigma. And they run the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
They play adequate defense. But like for the life of me, I can't get a read on them.
Yeah, it's literally what team is going to show up today. It's like, all right, you watch them get South Carolina, you're like, dang, they're finna get their ass whooped. And then like second half happens, you're like, whoa, who are these guys? Then they look like the team that played against Tennessee, you know. And then you watch them play Kentucky, and you're like, who the hell is this team? You know what I mean? So it's like you just never know what team you're gonna get. So all right, they played good, then they played bad. They played good last week, or the week before. So hopefully it's that time that they play bad.
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, I think a lot of stuff they do well. Georgia just happens to do well defensively. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they're a very threatening team vertically. I haven't seen it. If you have, great. I haven't seen it. I don't think this secondary is going to be that much afraid of Graham Mertz going down the field. So like for Georgia to be able to condense the field down into a 20-yard box is going to be a really bad news for Florida.
Yes. I think there's going to be a lot of man being played. I think this is about the time that we start amping up our blitzes. You know, I'm pretty sure they probably worked on that last week. Our blitzes and our man coverage and working our blitzes with our zone coverage because we're definitely going to need it going down the road here, especially when you get to Ole Miss and Tennessee. Because if you think about our zone blitzes, what helps us in the run. And we all know Jackson Dart looking toward next week, Jackson Dart looking toward the week after next, and Missouri next week. They do a really good job of running the ball. They got really good quarterbacks that they will take off and run every once in a while. And they do have a really nice vertical pass game that you're going to face here real soon. So I think this is a good week to kind of throw that at Florida, get that on film, kind of see how it works. I think Florida is a very dangerous team because they have absolutely nothing to lose. Everything to gain by beating us.
Yeah.
So you don't want to fall into that trap. And it's also Georgia-Florida too. So both teams are going to be amped up for this game. No matter what the record is between these two teams, it is always going to be an amped up game because one team has something to lose if they do lose this matchup every year.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like this is not one that you like to lose. And this is not one that as a team you like to lose because as you know, and unfortunately you've seen this happen more times than not, but half the stadium clears out and it's all orange and blue.
Yes.
And they're just going nuts, man. And and I've seen half the stadium clear out too. And it's an odd, eerie feeling. Like half the stadium is like, looks like the Sunday after where the cleaning crew could come through and be unscathed, cleaning up the trash. And the other side is like, it's right before kickoff. Like it's loud, full, just going crazy. Like it's truly unique. And if this rivalry ever goes away, that will be probably one of the main aspects of this game being played in Jacksonville that I will miss and say, man, this is weird. If it goes home and home, I mean, say what you will. I think for the South Georgia people, this is their Super Bowl for the South Georgia Dogs. Like this is their game.
I'm an hour and a half from Everbank Stadium, like from my house.
You just cruise on down. Make afternoon out of it.
Than going to Athens, which I will be in Athens next week for the Missouri game, but it's a lot closer here. And it's a lot warmer. A lot warmer.
Yeah. We would go down every year. I mean, it's right around Halloween too. So like there's some fun stuff to do. Like it's a nice trip. And part of me is like it should go to home and home. It's like it's about that time. Neutral site games are like falling by
Gonna
the
happen next year.
wayside.
It is going
What's
to
that?
happen next year for sure. They're going
Yeah.
to move it to at least for 1-2 seasons. I think they're going to do a home and home because every bank is getting renovated.
Yeah, it's gonna for that reason. That's fine. But I mean, we've proposed in the past that we can talk about more about this in the off season, but like proposed in the past, like I think you and I've had a discussion about this, like going on a 3-game model where it's home, neutral. What do you think about that model?
I think that'd be good.
I think that's a great compromise for like for all sides of the argument. It should be in Jacksonville every year. It's like what South Georgia looks forward to. It's like the entire year's economy for St. Simon's and Jekyll. And but on the flip side, you look at recruiting and having things happening on your campus, and there's benefits to all of it. And I don't know, like I truly see both sides, and I honestly I'd be good with either. I mean, it doesn't wherever that game is being played, I'm still going to hate Florida.
I think about the Orange Bowl, the Egg Bowl, things like that. They go home and home every year.
Iron Bowl,
Texas,
Oklahoma,
Texas A&M and Arkansas. They may play in Dallas every once in a while, but
lately that game's in Dallas every year.
Yeah, but
they've moved that to neutral.
This would be my argument. Do we really want Florida fans in Athens? And do you really want Georgia fans in Gainesville?
I don't think they want Georgia fans in Gainesville because it would happen.
And if you put them in Jacksonville, see, one side is already Florida and the other side is already Georgia. So, I mean, it's at least you got them separated for the most part. You know what I mean? But I don't think there's enough police services in each town to handle that.
That's a lot. It's bad enough when Tennessee fans come.
Yeah. And I was
Florida
at that
fans
game
last time I was in Knoxville, I had a Tennessee fan hissing at me. Like he was like buff, wearing overalls with no shirt on. He was like, trying to like intimidate me. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
But first of all, you're wearing orange, so I'm not scared of anybody wearing orange.
You're wearing orange overalls with gelled hair and no shirt.
Checkerboard overalls at that.
These weren't. These were solid orange.
Well, he still has no friends, clearly.
No. I think we properly made fun of him, and like his friends were like, dude, they would tear you up. Because we had a guy named Will in our group. Like you don't mess with Will. Like Will fights for fun.
Yeah.
Like Will fights for fun.
Those are the best pals to have.
Love Will. Will's one of my favorite people because like he loves to fight. And if he's on your side, he's got your back for life no matter what, dude. He just says when. He just said no, he doesn't say when, he says where. And he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that about Will.
Love to see it.
I wish it was kind of a less violent trait, and I don't really like fighting to begin with, but sometimes it happens. But he's there. He's gonna be right there by your side. He got your back. He's truly got your back, and you know where you stand with him at all times too. That's what I like about Will.
Absolutely. It's just like everybody trying to be all well. Brock Bowers is out, so Georgia's all their playoff hopes are dead. I was like, you do realize that we recruited a lot of people. We have like all of our receivers are now healthy. Milton's pretty much healthy right now. Dejan's running the football.
Wait, don't come at me with this logic.
Sorry, but I had this discussion today. with
Is Milton's
friend.
hamstring issues, are they solved? Hopefully.
I think he is about 92% right now, which is a lot considering.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So,
That was one of the injuries I was also truly worried about, like him not being able to go because of his hamstrings. But luckily,
Thomas, Dominic Lovett, I mean, Rosemary Jackson, Lad McConkey, Meeks, all those guys are
Dylan
going to
Bell
have.
playing running back. I mean, we got some weapons, man. Just going to be a slightly different game plan is all.
Absolutely, I think we're fine. I mean, and to me, I was talking to our coach today. I think to me, it's the same game plan. You just don't have Bowers.
Yeah,
it kind of takes a minute to get him going anyway because of who he is and how teams play him. So you kind of got to figure out ways to give him the ball anyway. So now with him not there, I think it kind of opens up a little bit more stuff that you could do to not try to focus on getting him the football, if that makes sense. Because of course you want the ball in your playmaker's hands.
Yeah.
But now you're just like, hey, whoever catches it, catches it. You know what I mean? It's time to just go out here and play football.
Yeah. You're not worried about that. You're just going through your progressions like normal. And I think Carson Beck is settled in. I think he can get guys in the right spots. A lot of people are nervous about Oscar Delp because he kind of struggled in relief at Vanderbilt when he came in for Brock Bowers. But I think a lot of that was just, oh boy, here we go. Like
sometimes
this
ain't a little different
2 plays and out. Yeah.
Hey, I'm the backup. You know what I mean? Like I'm here. We're kind of working together. We good. But once you get thrown into that starting role, it's like, oh boy, I'm him now.
Brock's not coming off the sideline right now. Like it's me. You get a little pressure there. I mean, he's still a kid for crying out loud. I mean, he's not immune to that. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody has their jitters. But Oscar Delp will be fine. He's more than capable of playing tight end at the University of Georgia. Usually you can tell when staffs are panicked a little bit.
But it's business as usual for us right now.
Yeah, like we have taken these injuries in stride. Now, have we lit the world on fire? Absolutely not. We have not. Like we have not played. We have not played up to the level that we played last year. But there's a lot of other factors involved in that. Like there's injuries. There's new people. There's new quarterbacks. New way of calling plays. Same system. You don't have Stetson Bennett. You don't have A.D. Mitchell. You don't have a lot of the pieces that you had a year ago. There's an adjustment period to that. And once these pieces get settled in, which it looks like they're doing, and we'll see for sure this week, I don't personally think it's going to be a death blow. I mean, the Missouri game is going to be tricky. The Ole Miss game is going to be really difficult. The Tennessee game is going to be really difficult because it's on the road. But you can call me crazy. You can call me a homer. You can call me whatever. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not either.
I'm not worried about it at all.
And Kirby Smart, I trust. And if there's one thing that I know that he's not going to let happen is complacency, leak in, number one, and doubt. Mm-hmm. Complacency, doubt, and two things that he's just not going to let happen.
Yeah.
We go down against South Carolina, you just hear his speech, and what player does not want to play for that guy? Just hearing him speak. He didn't come in fussing, cussing, anything like that. He was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to come back in here and celebrate. So it just let you know what kind of leader you got, what kind of, not only just from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint. Bullard didn't even play in that game, but he's dressed out, being a defensive leader for that group. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's one of those deals to where I don't see any panic from those guys. So why are we panicking? Of course, the media is going to say all this and blah, blah, blah. This is what they're paid to do. Even though they're wrong half the time, but if
the media, not including us, thinks we're a one-man show.
If that guy in the visor isn't panicking, I'm not panicking. When he panics, that's when I'll panic.
I don't think you'll ever panic, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, but none whatsoever. But Xavier Truss and Amarius Mims are both practicing. Don't think they'll play, but they are practicing, which is good. Monroe Freeling, I think, will get the start. He'll get a start, which here we go. You had a good camp. Now it's ready to show. I think here's how I think the game flow will go. I think the game flow will be a little clunky feeling at the beginning. While we're trying to get used to, like, I think coming off a bye week, not having Brock Bowers, like there's going to be a couple times where you're like, well, not you, but like there's going to be a couple times where the fans are going to be, oh boy, oh, this is going to be a long, bumpy ride, and you just got to go, okay, well, beyond the bumps, this road gets smoother because we're going to start kind of figuring it out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Florida's going to throw the kitchen sink at us because they have nothing to lose, and this is a Super Bowl for them too. So
they're here now just playing sport. That's what they're doing. They're spoiling everybody's hopes right now.
And it's the SEC. Everybody's good.
Yes.
Everybody's good.
If you would have told me South Carolina was the way that they're sitting right now after the way they played us, I'd called you a liar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tricky one. Arkansas has been a tricky team. Like they've played their ass off, but like it makes no sense how they're playing and what their record is. I mean, to me, I don't think they managed KJ Jefferson right. I don't think they used him properly. But that's between you and me.
I think the world knows that they didn't, and we kind of saw what happened because they didn't.
Yeah, they lost 7-3, and Dan Enos was shown the door. So, like, but KJ Jefferson almost single-handedly beat Alabama. Like, that's the kind of league you're in. Like, the worst team in the league almost took down Alabama. I guess where you're at. Like, it was a one-possession game against Vanderbilt in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's reasons for that. Reasons where you're just like, come on. Like, because there's no juice up there. There's no juice in that stadium. But it is what it is. It was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter.
It's going to be juice this Saturday.
There'll be plenty. There'll be plenty of it. Plenty of it. Well, Georgia's 14.5-point favorites. Do we cover?
I think we cover. That 14. I think that's the first time I've said that this year that we're going to cover. From the simple fact of I think we're starting to hit our stride a little bit now. I think that the bye week did us some good. I think that's what we needed.
We need to kind of
hit this stretch because now we're about to hit this stretch of you can't lose. You can lose one, you can't lose two.
I think you're in danger if you lose. You might miss out on the playoff because there's 4 undefeated teams, right? Or there's going to be 4 undefeated teams because I just don't see another loss. I don't see a loss in Washington's schedule potentially. It may be Pac-12 championship if they get a hold of Utah, or if they run into Utah, which Utah is pretty sporty. They're 6.5-point underdogs this week against Oregon.
They are. This is gonna be a good weekend of football. Really good week of football.
I don't see Florida State losing now. Like, who do they got left?
Because they don't have to play North Carolina this year.
No, they don't. Like they got nobody left. Like Duke was their hardest game.
Duke, they passed.
And they already played Louisville, I think, too. Didn't they open the season with Louisville?
They got Louisville. I think that's their only one left.
Okay. Now, speaking of good teams, Louisville plays Duke this weekend. Louisville is 4-point favorites. Louisville dismantling Notre Dame, which surprised the hell out of me. So I don't see Florida State losing. They lost to Pitt last week.
Which was like, what? And that's college football has been so unpredictable this year. North Carolina loses to Virginia. Who saw that coming? A
big double-digit underdog. Yeah.
So,
one win.
Like Penn State can barely cross the 50 against Ohio State. Didn't see that coming either.
No.
I mean, it's just like, good Lord, what is going on today? Clemson losing to Miami. I definitely didn't see that one coming. Although Miami is a good football team, but
I was more surprised.
Sure
I was more surprised seeing Georgia Tech beat Miami.
That's very true. And then Georgia Tech turns around and loses Boston College the way that they did.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's just not there. Like that Miami win was just purely to the point of, hey, we play really hard for Brent Key and we love Brent Key and we maxed out our abilities, but they don't have much talent. They just don't. And they fired their defensive coordinator and had that game against Miami, and then turned around and had the game against Boston College where they gave up a ton of points. They're just not there yet talent-wise. Jeff Collins just left that program in shambles.
404.
And there's 404, Waffle House Cup and Capris, and he was more worried about marketing than he was about football. Like, he left that program in horrible shape. They're still recovering from that. So
kind of like Jimbo when Jimbo left Florida State. They're kind of in that same boat.
Yeah, I don't blame Georgia Tech, but you can see they're improved. You can see they're much improved. Yeah. Like if you look at record and you look at scores, like of course you're going to like, oh, Georgia Tech sucks. Yeah, Georgia Tech sucks. Yeah, they don't have much talent. That's true. Mm-hmm. Recruiting will tell you that, but they play hard. They're tough.
They do.
They come at you. They're explosive at times, but they're relying on Haynes King. It's not a good thing. They're just not talented, but they play their ass off. You got to respect that. I respect it.
I respect that.
I respect it. I respect what they're doing.
Right now.
Never thought I'd say that, but I do.
I think this 4-10 is kind of dangerous right now, so I respect this team right now.
I do too. I'm not scared of them.
We're still going to beat them by 14.
We're going to beat them by 40. Dogs by 50. Yeah, I think they cover too. So, but Israel, we're going to get out of here, man. Real quick, Utah or Oregon?
I'm going to take Oregon simply because it pains me to say this, but Bo Nix is playing really good football right now. And I think that offense is humming. And although Utah is one of the only teams that plays defense over there, I think Oregon's defense right now against Utah's offense will stand. And I think Bo Nix can make a couple more plays to get them.
Yeah, I think outside of a small portion of the fourth quarter, I think Oregon's defense handled Michael Penix Jr. in Washington about as well as you could.
I think so.
Because that is a very talented offense, which leads me to believe that's probably the best offense they'll face all year. So they're not going to have as much trouble with Utah. And Utah's physical; they're good. It's going to be a slugfest game. It's going to be a good game. But I think Oregon. I'm with you. I think Oregon plays well. I think Bo Nix is just playing on a whole new level.
Yeah, this game is in Utah too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still taking Oregon, but I had a slight pause. So, but anyway, well, we're gonna get out of here, man. It's the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network, presented by Betonline.ag. We thank you for listening. However you found us, tell a friend, send a friend over, and get those subscriptions up. Follow us on social media. If you want a good follow, that guy right there beside me is a really, really good follow. 2 really good follows. If you follow Stephen Willis and Israel Troop, those are 2 good follows. That's entertainment. I retweet all of your stuff all the time. I reply sometimes, but you're so famous sometimes you don't even get down to my response. You're just so famous, man. You're just like everybody's on the Troop train, man. Troop star. You should highlight the word star. Your social media star, man. But in all seriousness, you need to follow Israel. You need to follow Israel, and you need to follow at Believe in Dogs, all social media platforms. Do it. Promise you. You won't regret it. So, but until next time, hope Georgia pulls out a win and the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. We'll recap that next week and preview the Missouri game as well and get you ready for Israel's trip to Athens, his annual hike up to Athens. So for Israel, I'm Corey. We are the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Believe Network. We'll see you back here next week. And as always, go Dogs.